Kate Middleton, the poised, graceful and endlessly admired Princess of Wales, has long been hailed as the royal family's modern-day symbol of resilience and elegance. But behind her polished smile and perfectly crafted public image lies a haunting reality, one that echoes the very same chilling words once spoken to the late Princess Diana, words that chilled her to the bone and foreshadowed a tragic legacy that still sends tremors through the royal corridors. These aren't merely coincidences or whispered comparisons, they are eerie repetitions, a mirror of history poised to strike again. The very same advice that once rang out like a ghostly warning to Princess Diana has now, years later, reached the ears of her daughter-in-law, Kate Middleton. And when she heard it, it wasn't just advice, it was a shiver down the spine of royal tradition. In the tightly guarded inner world of royalty, nothing is ever as it seems. Protocols appear polished and rehearsed, but the warnings beneath them carry shadows of deep truth. When Diana first entered this world, young, vibrant and full of hope, she was given advice cloaked in caution: never let them see you struggle. These words weren't just about image, they were a survival guide in a world of invisible enemies, press magnification, and institutional suffocation. Diana, being the spirited soul she was, both heeded and resisted this warning, which in turn, placed her in perpetual conflict with the monarchy's rigid expectations. Years later, as Kate Middleton stepped into the royal spotlight, some assumed history would not dare to repeat itself. Yet it did, not just in symbolism but in startling literal form. Sources close to the palace have revealed that the very same phrase, "never let them see you struggle," was discreetly handed down to Kate. Not as a loving warning, but as an institutional edict, cold, emotionless, and eerily resonant of the pressure cooker Diana once endured. The gravity of this moment wasn't lost on Kate. In that chilling moment, she wasn't just the Duchess or the future Queen Consort, she was the heir to a legacy of burden, pain, and public dissection. What makes this revelation even more unsettling is that this warning didn't come from a single person. It wasn't whispered by a senior royal in passing. It was reinforced repeatedly, across rooms, roles and responsibilities. From press handlers to private secretaries, courtiers to crown advisors, the haunting phrase reverberated with unrelenting weight. As Kate tried to maintain her composure, those around her expected her to embody calm perfection, just as they once demanded from Diana. Yet the tragedy of Diana was exactly that. No one truly allowed her to be real. And now, the same script was unfolding again. The timelines between Diana and Kate share chilling synchronicities. Both women were thrust into the global spotlight in their 20s, both were non-royals entering a world where every move is monitored and every breath is dissected. Both were romanticized as fairy tale figures, only to find out that the palace walls held darker truths. Diana's trauma was laid bare to the world through press hounding, manipulation, and a tragic loss of control over her own narrative. Kate, too, has faced the constant gaze of the paparazzi, the endless scrutiny over every wardrobe choice, expression, and parenting decision. But what makes Kate's situation uniquely haunting is the fact that she walked into it already knowing Diana's fate. Kate knew the press wouldn't be kind. She knew the institution valued silence over truth. Yet nothing could prepare her for the moment she heard that exact same warning. The parallel wasn't just symbolic, it was historical déjà vu. And for a woman so closely tied to Diana's memory, not just through marriage but through fashion, public demeanor, and public perception, the repetition of that advice felt like a ghost echoing through time. Even more disturbing is the pressure Kate faces to do what Diana could not: endure silently. She is expected to be warm but not outspoken, fashionable but not flashy, emotional but never vulnerable. In other words, perfectly packaged and eternally composed. The tragic irony is that this very framework is what crushed Diana's spirit, and yet it's being reinforced again with Kate. And while the media may now be more restrained, social media has amplified the expectations and criticism tenfold. Inside royal circles, some have reportedly expressed concern that the institution has learned nothing. The old mechanisms, silencing emotion, prioritizing image, discouraging transparency, are still in play. And while Kate has been the ultimate professional, behind closed doors, the toll of holding it all together is impossible to ignore. Friends have quietly noted that Kate, while smiling in public, is increasingly withdrawn in private. There's a weariness in her eyes, a quiet ache that only those closest to her can truly read. The chilling echoes of Diana's experience are not lost on Prince William either. He has often spoken publicly about how his mother's death shaped him, how he is determined to shield his family from the pain she endured. But can he really protect Kate from the very system he was born into? His love for her is deep and evident, but love alone may not be enough to fight against an institution rooted in centuries of unbending structure. The same rules that destroyed Diana's well-being are still the rules that define Kate's daily life. And now, the warning passed down to both women binds them forever, not just in family, but in fate. The words, "Never let them see you struggle," have become more than advice. They are a curse cloaked as guidance, a toxic expectation disguised as poise. And Kate, ever the dutiful princess, has borne it with grace. But as the years go by, as the expectations continue to mount, one must ask, at what cost? How long can a woman remain composed under constant surveillance, expected to smile through the storms, all while holding back tears that the world must never see? As the public adores her elegance and praises her for being the perfect modern royal, what we rarely consider is the emotional cost of such perfection. Every day, Kate lives in the shadow of Diana's tragedy. And every day, she fights silently to not be broken by it. The parallels between the two women are no longer subtle, they are glaring. And while Kate has the benefit of foresight, knowing Diana's story, the system she's up against remains nearly identical. This haunting resemblance between their journeys forces the public to reckon with a painful truth. The royal family may celebrate tradition, but sometimes that very tradition is a prison. And as Kate continues her role under the watchful eyes of both her family and the public, the question remains, will history continue to repeat itself, or will Kate finally be the one to break the cycle? What do you think? Will Kate Middleton's strength be enough to rewrite this chilling royal narrative, or is she destined to carry the same tragic burden that once defined Princess Diana's life? Don't forget to like, share, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more emotionally captivating royal family updates and deep dives into their untold stories. Your support helps keep the royal truth alive.